You know what changes? Everything. Times change. Technology changes. People change. Sometimes it seems overnight. You can resist it. You can adapt to it. But you can't ignore it. Our thinking is to lead it by changing the way we work, changing the way expectations are met, leading clients and the practice of law forward. You know what that changes? Everything.
Hi, I'm Dawn Chafe, co-owner and executive editor of Atlantic Business Magazine, and this is Take 5 with the Top 50, where we ask our 2020 Top 50 CEO Award winners just 5 questions each in an effort to find out what makes them successful, what makes them tick, and to see if we can get them to share the secrets of that success. For this episode, I am joined by 2 early pioneers of Hyperloop technology. They are currently working on next generation software engineering collaboration tools. They are the co-founders of CoLab software in St. John's, Newfoundland. Jeremy Andrews and Adam Keating, thank you both so much for joining me.
But to give you kind of like the background, CoLab really did come from being part of this Paradigm Hyperloop team for years. Jeremy and I were in mechanical engineering together at Memorial. 2015, we saw this, kind of wacky idea that there was going to be pods floating through tubes at 600 and 700 miles an hour. And I remember joining that team back in 2015. Shortly after, I needed a lot of help, and I called Jeremy and asked him would he join. Jeremy and I then became sort of remote friends. He was in Ottawa, I was in St. John's, and for the next couple of years, we ended up building, prototypes, and in the end, actually placed second in the world with an actual Hyperloop vehicle down at SpaceX in California. Along that whole journey, we were always working by distance. So pre-COVID, we were still a remote work team, and we were also moving really fast. And we realized that the tools that we needed as engineers building physical products just weren't good enough. And whether that was in Hyperloop or in the jobs that we had, we knew back in 2017 that our goal long term was to build something for people like ourselves. So ultimately, Hyperloop for us was a tool that taught us a lot, helped us build some cool tech, but uncovered the problem that CoLab is now solving today. So flash forward a few years and here we are, sort of in Clarenville, sort of in the Bay Area, but both of us actually in Newfoundland, building CoLab together.
I think Adam would agree. It doesn't feel very quick. It feels like it's been a long time in the making. And we've had a couple of things I think that have really helped us out, or kind of we feel like lucked out on. Hyperloop being one of them. That was our first kind of connection and introduction to the United States and the Bay Area. And we met a lot of great people and connections through that we were able to build upon. And we were also a Y Combinator startup. So we took part in Y Combinator. It's an accelerator program, probably one of the most famous accelerator programs in the world, but that's based in the Bay Area as well, and spent a significant amount of time networking with potential customers and other people in the Bay Area. And we've just also built like a pretty, I think, especially Adam has built a pretty strong social presence. And nowadays, especially in the last year or so, of course, your online presence is literally everything. And so I think that's helped us significantly too, to get our name out there, to get the product out there, and leverage that word of mouth. But we've been international really from day one. It's not something we ever really considered, was not being that. We had a problem we were trying to solve that we knew companies all over the world were facing, and just have always kind of approached it that way.
Yeah, we've been extremely lucky to have like a really good group of people all over North America in particular that because of the tools we have now today, they're just super connected to us. Prior to COVID, it was very much like hopping on a plane every other week to go meet these people. And now it's hopping on a Zoom call to do the exact same thing. But no, like Jeremy said, I think we've always had in mind that there's a much bigger picture here. And it's actually only really the last year or so that we started focusing more back in Atlantic Canada, because we wanted to make sure that we had, a solution that could scale, something that we could support all the companies in Canada with, the US, other places. So for us, it's kind of been by design that we go out and help as broadly as we can. It's always been important, where we came from, where we've lived, and we both lived away. We both worked in Silicon Valley. I've lived in northern Alberta. Jeremy's lived in Ottawa. I think we always like visiting these places, and I still do today. But Newfoundland is really home for us. When we started the company, you look at building a company in the Bay Area, you're really one of, kind of a million. And you look at building something in St. John's, and you're one of, a couple of dozen at the time we started. And there's something very special about the community. No different than the reason I really like the people in Newfoundland. There's like a very intrinsic motivation to help one another that runs so deep in the culture of Newfoundland. So when we came back, we started and we said, we aren't sure if we can build this the whole way here. We don't know. But there was good guidance because Verafin was sort of running alongside of us, and we could see as we were going through, Verafin, they just exited for $2.75 billion. Why can't we do that? And it was sort of the same kind of realization we had with the Hyperloop. At first, I think we were skeptical that we could build, anything that would compete globally, and then we came second somehow. So now the conversation switched to, why can't we build this in Newfoundland? Why can't we have a bigger impact? And then the reason we're so involved today, with the rest of the community is because the people that helped us start did it for absolutely no other reason than they just cared about us. Like they aren't shareholders. They don't have any monetary reason to do it. They do it just because they care. And today, I think we both view, the tech sector in particular, as an opportunity and like a key for young people in different sectors, make a career transition that keeps them in Newfoundland, pays them a good job, helps get Newfoundland out of the place it's currently in. So I think we're both very passionate about building Newfoundland, and it's something we hope to continue to do forever.
I think we have pretty strong core values at CoLab that we fall back on from this perspective, around acting as one team to solve problems, being solutions oriented, and being kind and respectful, to name a few. And a lot of our leadership, I think, our leadership style is focused around those core values, and we try to instill those core values into the whole team by just by enacting them ourselves and by baking them into that leadership style. Adam and I kind of both took on leadership roles in some things we were doing before CoLab and student teams and various other projects. So I think that helped give us a little bit of a jump start. But at the same time, we were only a few years into our career, and we're trying to lead and manage a number of people that often you don't get to until a later stage. And so, in my opinion, you need to fall back on the knowledge share of other people and previously successful leaders. So I try to read a lot. It's one of the things that I do, read books written by other successful leaders and leadership coaches. Been working with mentors, of course. Adam mentioned that there's a ton of people here in the province that really care and really just want to help for some reason, and they've helped us a lot from a leadership perspective. So yeah, I think we really lean on our core values and lean into our core values when it comes to how we lead, and B, try and just consume as much help and knowledge as we can.
The last year is actually really interesting for us. There's been a million challenges with COVID-19 and going remote, and everything 2020 brought. But I think it's probably fair for both of us to say that we're both looking forward to 2021, because over the last year we've really figured out some core pieces of our business in terms of what value do we add to customers, how can we add value immediately to customers, how do we show that success right away. So our core focus today is actually a massive product update. So CoLab 3.0, we've been working on really since last summer, is going live. It's in beta right now with customers. So that's a big milestone for this year. And honestly, we're hiring a number of people. Our team this time last year was 18, 19 people. It's now 35 today. It'll probably be in the low 40s in a couple of weeks. And by the end of this year, it'll probably be closer to 50 or 60. So 12 months from now, we're hoping to be in a position where we're scaling up and helping, hundreds of teams really throughout Canada, throughout the US, and then building, hopefully something alongside of Verifin, another big tech company in the province who can really go out there and make a change globally.